Welcome back to the World Masters Ultimate Championships here in Nottingham. We've got another exciting game for you, a final in the Great Grand Masters Women's Division between Vintage from Canada and Nor'easter from the United States. I'm Becky Thompson, joined by Benji Reese. And Benji, this one should be a great game.
This is what it is all about. It is finals time. It is only gold medal games from here on out. You cannot get it any better than this. And the Great Grand Masters Women's Division is a heck of a way to kick it off. These two sides have already met this tournament. That was a 2-point game. If we're on for a repeat of that, we are sure to have another classic. You see the bracket there. Vintage absolutely smashing Persisters 15-3, while Nor'easter got revenge on Trophy Wives after going down in the pool, taking out the #1 seeds 13-8 to set up their position in the gold medal game.
Yeah, these teams all playing in a big round robin throughout this tournament, so have played each other before. Vintage taking that one 13-11, as Benji mentioned, and we've got some great players to keep an eye on as well.
Yeah, have a look at number 71, Kate Bergeron for Nor'easter. Been playing for, I mean, let's do the maths, carry the one, 32 years, which is just about as long as I've been alive, and you have to absolutely love that. Look for her to be distributing and really pulling the strings, by which I mean orchestrating the offense rather than pulling the purse strings, which she does as her job as the WFDF treasurer.
Yeah, meanwhile, Tombemont on the side for Vintage here, 41 assists in this tournament, Benji. Just absolute ridiculous numbers that she has been putting up. So look to see her on the disc, looking to make things happen here for this team from Canada.
Yeah, I mean, that stat line really speaks for itself. Don't know if you need to say much more.
Yeah, just an incredible player, been around for a long time as well. And the wind here, Benji, has settled a little bit compared to how gusty it was yesterday. Just 13 miles an hour and 24 degrees. That breeze, of course, cooling it down a little bit. So pretty good playing conditions, I'd say.
Yeah, I'm not sure you could ask for much more. Maybe you could say you'd like less wind, but especially at the Masters tournament, I like what I'd call a thrower's breeze.
Yeah, a chance to get some nice shape on that disc, and we'll have Vintage out in white, starting us out on defense. Nor'easter in the dark jerseys. Tombemont will get set to pull to get this final underway.
I'm so excited. This is why teams come to tournaments, so you can play these close games in front of crowds at the end of a long, hard-fought week here in Nottingham.
So the pull will come up, and the Great Grand Masters Women's Final gets underway.
I think they're going to take it from the sideline rather than going back to the brick mark.
Newman will pick up, has light body as a reset. Vintage coming down in person defense to start us off. Looking to connect upfield, but it's just in and out of the hands. Blackshore couldn't hang on to that one. Tombemont resets. Good job on the force there, stepping through. Back to Tombemont. Travel call, just will reset her foot. Not a stoppage.
There's also a pick downfield, which will make it a stoppage.
Indeed, pick absolutely a stoppage. Just now a discussion, it looks like, on where the stall count will come back. You can see Tombemont signal to her team to come back under, but she's going to shoot. Looking deep, that's going to hang. And just getting the box out in front. Blackshore doing so well to get her body position there.
Yeah, Obitaille, I thought she had a really good position, but just maybe backed off ever so slightly to give her space to attack it, and in doing so, allowed the defender to come in front.
Bergeron now on that far sideline. Shoots under. Callan finds a reset in the middle. Gardner back to Callan. Struggling to find some movement there as another pick is called. stack just a little bit bunched up here for Nor'easter. Resetting now. Light body doesn't have a reset, finds one. Now some quick movement up that far sideline. Shooting to the end zone. And that's going to drop just outside of the pitch. No chance there for Gardner to make a play.
I like the idea from Bergeron, getting the outside in edge to roll curve it back in bounds. But in the end, the trajectory wasn't quite harsh enough.
So I'll get another chance here for Vintage to break on this opening point. Tolbemont into the middle. Turcotte shoots under pressure. And there's going to be a foul called. There was a lot of contact on that one, Benji.
I'm surprised it went up because it didn't seem open to me.
Okay, we got foul contest.
So the disc will head back here. And Benji, I do have to agree with you. It did look like there was a good amount of contact, but that initial cut, not sure it was an open option.
I wonder if there's a question about what the stall count might have been, which sort of forces your hand when you get on a higher stall. You're almost forced to take options that aren't quite as open as you would like.
Tolbemont with the disc back in her hands. Finds an option in Leduc in the middle, and that disc is going to sit up in the air, but well read and reeled in. Julie Blais, the safe hands there. Tolbemont really going every other pass here at times. He's going to shoot, and that is just going to be too low. Taps her chest to apologize. Not executed on this occasion.
I was going to say she knew as soon as he released it. It wouldn't surprise me if she knew, even as she was releasing it, that this wasn't anywhere up to her usual high standards.
Good field movement here from Nor'easter, but that swing's going to be too far. Another chance here for Vintage.
Some early final jitters, perhaps?
Yeah, sometimes just taking a minute to settle into these games as that disc comes back into the middle. Good give and go motion. Big swing to this near sideline and great grab, reeled in. Kobatai near the end zone line now for Vintage. Looking for that reset in the middle, goes to ground. Caroline Leduc fakes the hammer. Tolbemont doesn't have an option, finds the reset. Dussol back to Tolbemont. Now around to Blais. Nor'easter doing a good job of shutting down the cutting options right now in that stack. Tolbemont doesn't have a reset right now. Having to shoot into the end zone, but connects for the goal. Tolbemont finds Caroline Leduc, and Vintage have an early break.
Felt like Vintage were maybe stringing longer possessions together. Of the three shots, the three possessions that Nor'easter had, two of them were just a single pass completed. But there was a good methodical approach there, I think, by Vintage. Committing to, we're going to keep the disc moving, reset it, whereas at times Nor'easter were just trying to manufacture things a little bit more craftily rather than going for the basics.
And maybe, as you mentioned, Benji, a little bit of final nerves setting in at the start of this game.
I wonder if this is going to help Vintage, because as well as, you know, being an established program, they were in fact the first ever women's Masters champions 12 years ago in Lecco.
Yeah, and 7 of these players on that gold medal winning team. And like you mentioned, Benji, a true program, 3 teams across the women's divisions here.
You love to see it.
See if Nor'easter can respond as Tombemont straight back out on the field after that first long point. It's going to be centered to the middle. Kingery. Tombemont just poaching in that underspace, taking away the options, but does well to find the space. Shooting to the end zone, just slightly too far in front. You could see what Durand was looking for on that one. Meaden just not able to track it down.
The angle of the cut's a little off. It's quite horizontal towards this sideline, and it doesn't give the throw a huge amount to aim at. So when the disc goes long, it's so much harder to change the direction in time.
Tombemont now has a reset if she wants it. Finds it in the middle. Percy goes back to Tombemont, a pick called upfield.
There's a big part of me that feels like she really wants to jack it here. Maybe that's just because that's what I would do, but as experienced as you are, often when you're in your own end zone, you do feel the pressure.
Back now into the middle, wide open cut there. Blay resets to Percy, now back with Tombemont. That's going to go just a little bit too high. Leduc got a hand to it, but couldn't get control.
Tried to put the elevation on it because there was a little bit of traffic in the middle, but they get it right back.
Suzanne Percy coming through confidently on that one. It's like some discussion about a potential pick and retracted signaled on the field as well. Tombemont having to go to that reset. The good sag in the lanes there from Nor'easter. Now finds an option under Valence. That's just going to be a little bit too far. The pressure D, and it does look like there's a foul called. Some contact there between the two players.
And she was trying to change direction, indicating that there was contact on the legs there from Insco.
Back in play. No reset option there, so Tombemont is going to have to shoot, but an amazing around throw, but tracked down by Kate Kingery coming through for the block. Back into the middle now. Nor'easter still looking for a hold here on this point. Connects with Kingery. Meaden upfield to Durand. Meaden finds an upline option. Nor'easter just knocking on the doorstep here now, looking for something upline, doesn't find it. Gets the under. Meaden controlling the tempo of play here. Can see those big poaches in the lanes really stopping that upfield flow. Insco back to Kingery. Kingery looking for that inside flick, instead goes for that big floaty around. It's going to hang, and a great grab, reeled in. And to the end zone for Kingery. That is the first hold. Nor'easter on the board.
They are indeed. And there were a couple of times on that possession that I thought the Vintage were going to come down with it, but displaying good athleticism to be able to get up over the top and make those plays even when defenders have better position. It is so important to get on the board early in the final. You get broken to start, you cannot afford to let that train get going. The Turcotte just has to slow down a little bit to adjust and make sure that she can pinpoint it up high. And speaking of pinpointing it up high, excellent grab there by Cianfrani. And flowing it into the end zone to Kingery, who got the block by attacking the disc at one end and finishing it at the other for the bookends.
Yeah, great point there from Kingery. See her yelling instructions back to their D-line now as they look to try to get a break. Our first look as well, Benji, at this vintage O-line.
Yeah, their D-line was doing a lot of good work in creating the turns, was able to convert one for a break, but just the one. That's Kate Kingery's 12th goal of the tournament, to go along with 15 assists.
Huge pull, pushing Vintage back into their end zone as they'll center it to the middle. Working it now to that far sideline.
Started in a split stack with 3 players on the near side and 2 on the far, as that one is tipped on the mark.
Yeah, a hand block there, giving a short field opportunity here for Nor'easter to break back. Resetting to the middle for York. Shoots to the end zone, and that will work for the goal. Nor'easter break back to take back the lead 2-1.
Yeah, Bergeron in the right place at the right time to collect that fired inside flick. Theoretically, you feel like this should be the easier direction to play offense into. The wind's nowhere near as strong as it was yesterday, for example. I'm not sure if Grabowy tips it or it just comes weirdly out of the hand. Either way, you never look a gift horse in the mouth, and York pinging it in there. Bergeron is right on the spot required for the score.
Nor'easter coming down, showing us that pressure defense we expected to see from them. Vintage spoke about how athletic this team was in the game that they played earlier in the week.
I'd love to have a look at what's being written on that sheet. Evidently there's a lot of wisdom. It's going to be penned across the various chalkboards and tactics sheets across the tournament. And they've earned that early break right back at the first opportunity.
So back on serve early in this first half of the final. Tombemont will get the disc in the middle of the field. He's just going to shoot it over the head. Just put too much float on that Dussault. No chance to reel that in as Nor'easter goes straight back the other way, but a miscue of their own. It's off the hands of Kingery. Tombemont looking for a reset. Now around to the far side. René Lefebvre just can't connect upfield. There's going to be a call. It looks like an immediately accepted foul.
I did feel like Robitaille had that before the contact.
This is going to come back in. Finds Blais in the middle. So shooting upfield. Now to the end zone. Reeled in for the goal. René Lefebvre connects. And Vintage keep us level.
That's a lovely scoring shot right there. So often I feel like teams forget that you don't have to score at the front line. You've got a whole deep end zone to work in. And you don't always have to get it at the closest possible point. Here, using the full field dimensions, slings that outside in forehand deep to the back of the zone. Wonderful shot from Turcotte. And Lefebvre tracked it all the way.
See some of the fans coming in to watch this game now. Benji having wrapped up their tournament, enjoying a beer here as well.
Well, some of the other Vintage contingent, of course, we mentioned playing in the other women's divisions here, and saw someone rocking the very trendy VC swag, the official merchandise provider of the tournament and of the WFDF. And I must say, Sean and I in previous broadcasts have been thinking, I wonder where that's from, we really like it. And it turns out it is the official tournament merch, and it's lovely when that happens.
So Nor'easter back out on offense here. Newman looked like she wanted to shoot. The force from Tombemont just stepped in front. Looking for a reset, finds Newman. Now back into the middle and just too far in front. Lightbody had to go to ground. Tombemont runs to the disc looking for a quick turn. Has an undercut. Now on the doorstep, shooting into the end zone and just behind where the cutter was. Maybe just rushing a little bit of excitement there, seeing the chance to get in for that break.
I totally understand why Valence pulls the trigger there, but I think it probably would have benefited from the holster.
Loads of space on that far sideline as Nor'easter quickly take advantage. Gaining yards, Kingery. Bergeron and Kingery connecting. No pressure in that area as well defensively. Running out of options for a reset. Will have to shoot for the end zone. And just lost it in the air there. Bergeron was turning over her shoulder and couldn't keep track of the disc.
Yeah, Robitaille is not the defender I'd want to be testing with that as well, because she's got that long wingspan and reach that makes it so difficult to craft the disc around her.
Tombemont directing traffic once again here for Vintage. And a call. Checked back in. And a block running right through, and Lightbody gets a hand to it first. Kingery. Nor'easter going for a quick turn of their own. Newman. Has to come over to this near sideline. Bergeron. Johanna Newman just resetting the disc now with Gardner shooting up to Kingery. Working it around the back, and an option opens up in the end zone. A great bid. Blackshore going to ground, but just too far.
Yeah, not afraid to put the buddy on the line. Sacrifice a bruise or two maybe for a chance of getting it. It wasn't to be, but you respect the commitment.
So Tombemont once again starting off the play here for Vintage. Looking to connect upfield. That little give-go action isn't going to work, though. Kingery in that space, getting herself another block as Bergeron will shoot big around backhand. Another huge bid attempt, but again, just a little bit too far, Benji.
This time it's Emily Callan who is fully committed to the cause. These are such fine margins, and throws do not have to be off by that much, especially when there's a little bit of wind, and you can see that there. Never really has a consistent edge, and the wind gobbles it up, and then this one pushed a little bit too far, but immediately intercepted.
Yeah, that stack there from Vintage just looking a little bit static, and it gives the opportunity. Lightbody connects with Kingery, and Nor'easter, after a few times of trying, have their hold.
Vintage were the unbeaten side this week coming into this game, including a tight-fought win over Nor'easter. But of course, it would never mean that their opponents are just going to roll over and have their tummies tickled. You always expected that it'd be tough for them. Nor'easter early on in this contest are proving that they are certainly going to put up a heck of a game here.
Yeah, absolutely. We mentioned earlier in this game, Benji, those 7 players who played for Vintage back in 2014 in Lecco. A handful of players on this Nor'easter team actually playing for Godiva in the final against them that year as well. So lots of experience, and these players have known each other as rivals for a long time here as well, Benji.
Yeah, Godiva, one of those great Masters programs from up in the northeast.
So still early in this first half, we're back on serve. 1 break apiece in this game. Vintage breaking on the first point of the game, and Nor'easter able to answer back very quickly after. Now into the middle, connecting upfield. Frisbee will shoot to the end zone. That's going to work. A gorgeous pass in for the goal. Look at the celebrations there for Vintage. They know that that was a really nice one. Joël Clément gets the goal.
Isn't it so lovely when you have a plan and you execute it to perfection? It's just such a nourishing feeling. And they made that look oh so simple and oh so smooth. Stephanie Verbit with the assist. Again, another well-weighted shot using the full depth of the end zone. I think it's set up well there, but you see the cutter coming underneath. Doesn't hold on to it, doesn't turn downfield, look for an option, sees the handlers running through, already free, and the advantage of doing that, if you can pop that little leading pass to someone kind of coming from the backfield, as they're catching it, they're already seeing the play develop in front of them downfield, and it means you don't have to hold it for a couple of seconds and wait to find options. They can see it developing, they can catch it, instantly get it out in front, into space for the score.
And that, the first clean hold as well in this game. And Benji, we've talked about it in some other games, but it's so beneficial to have those quick offensive points and get your defense back out on the field.
Yeah, and this Vintage D-line has been absolutely rolling. I mean, we talked about how there were 45 goal involvements for Julie Tremblement, the second leading stat getter, and Robitaille also on this D-line, and it shows that this D-line has been absolutely rolling this tournament. It's always a good sign when your defensive players are stuffing the stat sheet, because it means that they're doing their job and they're doing it mighty effectively.
Newman looking for an upfield option, has to go for a big around. It's going to work. Vintage were sitting in that underspace, but now they're able to connect upfield. Light body finds an option on the end zone line. Durand will shoot into the back corner, and answering back with a clean hold of their own. Nor'easter keep us level, or take a lead, I should say, get their lead back here.
Both sides, it feels like, have found their feet and found their form a little bit now. Maybe there were some nerves. Maybe it was kind of adjusting to the wind conditions, because it's not just kind of the speed and the direction. When you play in these stadium environments, when you've got the grandstands, often the wind changes a little bit. You can get those little swirls, those eddies and pockets, but once you adjust, once you find your feet, you can really make hay. Lovely put there in to Callan, and I wonder where they're off to.
Maybe trying to get a better view, better position to watch this fantastic game we have here for us today, Benji. And you mentioned the stands, these teams with so many divisions as well here in this tournament, Benji. Not every team getting the opportunity to play in this stadium throughout the week leading up to it. So for these teams, maybe just adapting to those conditions like you mentioned, and also adapting to having the crowd here that can really bring the energy. I think that those Canadian fans coming out now have really turned up this environment.
And this is the thing, as more and more teams finish and games wrap up, teams get ready for the party here tonight with the legendary DJ Tom Styles. And a Canadian in DJ Bradley James as well. I cannot remember which Canadian team he's playing for, but he's the DJ for the Edmonton Oilers, among other things. So yeah, it's going to be a hell of a night, and it starts, well, I say it starts, it's already started. It's been going for about half an hour. A pick downfield. Because it's a Masters event, though, I assume the party will be finished by 10 and everyone will be in bed nice and early.
Well, we've got the Grandmasters mixed final at 8 p.m. tonight. Of course, that will be live for you on Ultiworld as well. A lot of the teams in the stands to watch that before joining the party after. And these teams here, Benji, will be looking to celebrate, hopefully, a gold medal. As Vintage out on offense right now. Gonna shoot, connects. Great inside flick there. Now finding an option in the middle. Harris fakes the huck again. Percy connects into the middle. Working it up nicely. Harris finds a reset. Verbit going for that around option and looked slightly misread at first, but tracks it down and then gets the easy dish in. A fantastic read from Jolin there to then get that easy dish in for the goal to Harris. 4-all, Benji.
I think I agree with you that she did need to make an adjustment underneath that. The reason she's able to do that is because Verbit puts that throw up with a lot of touch and finesse. Really gets the little bit of backspin with the wrist, and it means that it's just going to hold its shape and hold and sit in the air a little bit and allow for an easier catch before the little feeds to Harris for the score. It's one of my favourite drills. It's just a simple throwing with a partner, but you throw it and you try and catch it as late as you possibly can without moving, because you're teaching the idea of, I don't want these throws to go, miles away if we miss it. I want them to be nice and catchable and readable and adjustable. That's a really good example of that.
Yeah, and big credit there as well to Harris, who trusted that Jolin was going to make that adjustment and make that grab and just continue the cut.
I think you have to. You have the trust in your teammates, but okay, if she doesn't catch it, fine, we've got time to adjust, especially because we're, near our attacking the end zone, we're attacking anyway, so they have the full length of the field to go. But have the faith in your teammates, and you'll find yourself in those positions to succeed. Wind picking up a little bit now, actually.
Yeah, a little bit gustier. Can feel it up here in our booth. Tombement set to pull. Vintage come out here on defense. It's going to hang around the middle of the field here. Kingery will get us underway. Looking for an inside option, now finds the reset. Light body. Kingery will shoot, putting that one up into space, but it's going to catch the wind. Neva Durand was wide open in that end zone, Benji, but just not able to connect on this occasion.
Yeah, if the wind's a little bit easier, then that holds up a little bit more, but because it's picked up slightly, when you get that elevation, it will continue to push it further and further away.
Nor'easter sitting on those undercuts right now as well, forcing Vintage to find a reset. Tombement will dish it back once again. Now Burst. Back to Tombement. The real general of this D-line offense as a pick is called upfield.
At the end of a long week, it's tough to do this. But you really want to try and win it with your legs here. When they're sitting on those unders so hard, you really need to commit to your cuts, commit to those fakes, try and drag players out of position. And if you don't getting free on your first move, second, third moves, go again and again and really challenge those defenders to try and keep up with you on those continued movements.
Wimont fakes hard to get that around to Leduc. Another pick in the stack.
The spacing is somewhat off.
Leduc back underway, has the reset. Julie Blais back to Tombemont. Now Leduc again. Vintage forcing themselves into having to play a bit of small ball here, Benji, just resetting the disc. Those upfield options not coming, and it looks like there was another call.
Saw a violation be signalled by Blais downfield.
Tombemont. Again, that hard flick fake to move the force, but this time it's too far in front of Blais. As Kingery collects. Has Durand as a reset. Meaden. Just surveying for an option. Kingery will provide. And another pick.
Yeah, when your legs are tired, you played a long week on grass that is probably a little harder than everyone would have liked because of the ludicrous heat wave we've had over the past few weeks. That you're a little bit tired, you're not clearing, getting back into position, probably maybe with the same vigor and discipline that you should be, and that means that you are getting these picks created.
Kingery will shoot, putting it into space, and it's just gonna fly out the back of the end zone once again, catching the wind, but it was running low on options.
Options low, stall count high. May as well put something up and see if you can give someone a chance.
So Leduc and Tombemont once again working together, will shoot into the open hands there. Bechet puts it up, but it just gets tangled in a mixture of 3 or 4 bodies there.
It's not a great throw.
I understand, yeah. She's saying that when she wanted to go for the catch, when it was falling down, you went into her on the bunkers. You both collapsed, and you collapsed on her. That's what she's saying.
I think I only hit
I
Brenda.
know I hit in here. That's the only contact I recall. That's all I can say.
It sounds like a foul contest.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Foul contest. It'll go back. Who had the disc?
I think, yeah, I have no...
You okay?
Yeah, I have no...
Okay.
We're good.
Cool. Come in installing 2. Let me get back, and then you're good to go.
So that disc back into the hands. Tombemont will once again collect. And there's another pick called, but looks like this time they will just catch up here. So the disc will stay in the hands of René Lefebvre.
When these picks keep happening, it can be so easy to lose your focus and composure. So you've just got to take a breath and work it out. And as I say that, another pick.
Yeah, you could see that one happening there, Benji. Their stack just a little bit too congested in the middle of the field there. Needs to spread it out a little bit.
I feel like a kid in a candy store with all this pick and mix.
Didn't affect the outcome of the play, so the disc back underway. Of course, it's Tombemont. Tombemont will look to connect upfield. Bechet, that one again is just going to hang in the air. Gets picked up, the wind underneath it. Meaden.
Yeah, showed too much of the underside of the disc to the wind on that turnover. He did a flatter plane of release.
Meaden had no options. The reset D from Tombemont was too strong. Forced to throw it, and a good late stall count option, Benji, to get that field position. But struggling to connect upfield. As now the Duke signals for her team to come back under. That stack a little bit deep right now, and it's going to be overshot. Lefebvre can't get a hand to that one. At this point now, Benji's been going on for about 6.5 minutes. So a long one in this first half. Kingery finds that inside shot, but read by the defense all the way. Lefebvre was all over that one. But again, the wind just catching that disc, sailing away, and a timeout called here by Meaden.
This makes sense to me. This point, as we mentioned, has been going on a fair old while, over 7 minutes so far. It's getting a little bit scrappy. I think teams could do with regaining their composure somewhat, and they recognize that as well.
Yeah, well, the players take a break, so will we. We'll be back just after this. Welcome back to the World Masters Ultimate Championships. The Great Grandmasters Women Division final underway here, Benji. This point, a long one. The team's taking a timeout. Meaden will get us back underway. This would be a hold here for Nor'easter if they're able to get it in, and they will shoot on a first pass connection. It's bobbled off the hands, but keeps the focus on that second effort. Fantastic job to get that goal. Nor'easter getting that hold immediately out of the timeout call.
Blackshaw spares her own blushes there with the second effort grab, and it might have been a spectacular layout. It could be a simple clap catch. It could be a fumble you get at the second attempt. It doesn't matter. The scoreboard doesn't show the pictures. It just shows you the result. I see their team's really struggling, I think, to hit their full flow. A couple of shots towards that end zone. Blocked, defended, overshot. This one seemed like it was good, and then for a split second you thought, had she made a mess of it? But Blackshaw, with those pride wristbands, make sure.
And those long points, Benji, that one taking 7 or 8 minutes on that last time out, they can sometimes really affect the momentum of the game as well. So Nor'easter, I think, will be very happy to come away with that.
Yeah, 8 minutes, 59 seconds. And you do often see it in these games where when you have I'll start that again. When you have points where the turn count really ticks up, they drag on. If you get it, you feel like you've won a little mental battle over your opponent.
Yeah, it almost doesn't matter who started on offense or defense at that point in those long dragged out ones, but Vintage now have a chance to get their offense back out on the field. Tombement. A zone look here from Nor'easter, doing something different, and there's a miscommunication. Unfortunately, Susan Percy didn't know that disc was coming for her.
If you're making that cut, crashing through the cup there, you have to be looking at the thrower, because that feed is absolutely on.
Defensive bid attempt, but that disc now on the far sideline. Nor'easter knocking on the door of another break here. Resetting. Newman has a reset. Looks like there's a foul away from the disc. So the disc will stay in the hands of Kelly Hybrid.
I think they've unknowingly almost put themselves into a hex formation here. But in doing so, they've got a nice clear isolation at the front of the end zone.
And an injury call in the back of the end zone. watching Grabowy, who is down, down away from the disc too. Not things you want to see here, Benji.
No, it's usually not a great sign, and she's clearly struggling somewhat here.
Going to take herself off the field, and we hope she's okay and able to continue. You don't want to see that at any point of a tournament, Benji, but let alone playing in a World Championship final. Hopefully Grabowy is okay.
Yeah, and you know how much respect these two teams have for one another, and obviously Norisa will be disappointed, so will Vintage, because you always want to face an opponent with everyone fit and ready to go, especially in a matchup that's as tight as this one.
So Durand came on as that injury sub. There's another pick called in the stack. It's checked back in, trying to move the mark, is going to look into the end zone. Had two cutters in that space, but not able to connect. Gardner shoots it into the turf.
I think that was part of the problem, that with two cutters there, you're maybe thinking, is it for me, is it for someone else? And often that's the one advantage of going with a more spread formation, is that you get a bit more space to work with, and it's clear who your intended recipient is. This is a tough position to pick up the disc from, though.
Great pickup there. Snags that off the ground. Percy doing a great job to keep it alive as Norisa are back in that zone look. Had success with it the first time around. Percy has Blay. Blay immediately moving that disc. For a bit, will thread through the middle, a bobble under pressure, but kept alive. Percy keeping the disc alive more than once in this point. Now will shoot to the end zone. Has a receiver in the space who will read it superbly. Tracks it down for the goal. Robitaille does an amazing job there. And Vintage get themselves a hold.
That's why Robitaille has been the leading goal scorer for this side. Because when it feels like things aren't really happening, you see you've got the one-on-one matchup. And when they're single covered, they're open.
I mean, when that disc was thrown, Benji, Robitaille was not open. That ground that she covered to get free on that was incredible.
Yeah, there's the turnover. One that you definitely want back. Piercy with the juggle, but she catches it. And then she thinks about this. Got more lateral rather than vertical separation there. The disc doesn't take the edge over to the far side, but flattens out somewhat. But using those long strides well, eating up the grass and eating up the reception for the score is to Robitaille.
These teams taking a timeout here as well. Just a chance maybe to reset. It's been very back and forth. We had those really early breaks here, Benji. And since then, we've just been trading. And this game, of course, is free to watch on our YouTube channel, but you can also subscribe to Ultiworld if you are enjoying our coverage. And if you do subscribe, get a chance to have access to the all-incredible Discord channel as well. Head to ultiworld.com/subscribe. And that Discord, Benji, a place that you frequently like to go for all the places to talk about Ultimate Online.
I am a creature of the internet. Has been known to say, so if you want to get the inside scoop on anything that's going on, find out how many players apparently played MCUDL, whatever that is, I don't really understand, but there's always chat about that. You can see cute pictures of people's pets. There's a lot of World Cup jabs being thrown this way and that, whether it's Europe, in the States, college, club. The Ultiworld Discord is the place to talk about it. Hello YouTube chat, by the way, we see you.
So we'll come out of this timeout. Not a hydration break like the World Cup, Benji. A little bit different vibe here.
Don't put that evil in here.
This game all tied up 5-5, and that's exactly what you want to see from a final as well. The two best teams in this tournament going head to head.
You always feel like sometimes it feels like the semi-finals are the real finals, because that's the last opportunity you have where you could still go home with nothing if you lose and then lose the bronze medal game. But once you've made the final, sometimes it can be easy to think, well, at least we're coming home with something, and you're not necessarily as locked in. But both of these sides, you can tell how much they want it.
Newman upfield. Rose shoot a little bit far, but easily tracked down. Johanna Newman kept her eye on that all the way. Goes for the high release. It's pushed down and too low. That one dropped in the wind so quickly.
I love the way that if there's a disc that's just got a chance of being caught, Norisa are always going to commit the body to it.
Tombemont. Looking for that inside option. Again, Nor'easter just really sitting on those undercuts. Blade does well to bounce back into the middle. Now some flow here. Thought about the deep shot. Faking to communicate with the upfield players. As Turcotte has it, a little bit of contact. Just reset the stall count here.
Yeah, not a surprise to see that foul accepted.
Turcotte looking for Tombemont, who's trying to signal for that little push pass into space almost. And a violation.
With the face mark there from light body, you don't necessarily need to wait for Tremblay to make the move. You just put it out into space and let her go and get it.
Goes around to Verbit. Nor'easter really doing a good job, Benji, of trying to disconnect vintage handlers from their cutters. But Tremblay, disc back in her hands, and again, a call upfield. Looked like a foul.
Right. Saying 3. Thank you. Stalling 3.
Tombemont has an option in the middle, finds Jolin around to Turcotte. Vintage really just trying to march this disc in. No resets options right now here for Tombemont though, so she's gonna have to shoot into the end zone, but it's going to be read and tracked down by none other than Robitaille, but there's a travel on the throw, Benji.
Yeah, I'm not sure they've seen it downfield. Now they've got the picture. There's a subsection of the crowd that doesn't like it, but no crowd has liked any call ever.
Get another look at it here. You can see Tombemont signaling.
She is shifting that pivot foot around. She's not got it consistent.
What?
Did you really see that?
Well, you were holding it here, so I could see your feet. So I could see your feet and the disc.
Well, I honestly feel that it was really a no call. That's my perspective.
Okay. Did you want a perspective, or are we going to leave this as travel and contest? The disc would be coming back.
What's your perspective on it?
Okay,
Yeah,
so my perspective, I did actually have you traveling, moving the pivot foot, picking it up and replacing it in a different spot.
You think it's a travel?
Yeah.
You're 100% sure?
That's my perspective, okay. That you had your foot picked up and placed in a different spot. So yeah. So okay. The disc is gonna be this.
Getting another angle of it. Just right there, Benji. Just moved her foot once, lifted it slightly, and put it back in a different place, as the game advisor said.
Yeah, you can see that in doing so, she's giving herself a little bit more space on the backhand side, unintentionally, but it is what she is doing.
Okay.
So a very good discussion there as well. The advisor coming in to bring their perspective, but immediately Tombemont is going to shoot again for the same receiver. Robitaille was hunting at the back of the end zone, and that is a break here for Vintage to take the lead 6-5.
Well, once was good, but that's twice as nice. You've got a long, tall target at the back of the end zone. You've got the throwing power. You're always going to want to take that shot on a high stall. You know it's coming. I'm sure that Nor'easter knew it was coming as well. They just were not able to stop it.
You can really hear the crowd getting into this one now as well. A big break after a run of trades. That high release there from Newman just got pushed into the ground, and Tombemont immediately shooting. That was pinpoint accuracy, Benji.
I mean, you see how close she is to the back of the end zone there, but not so close that she has to do a little bit of acrobatics. Just confidently in bounds. Let me just flick the on-off switch in my brain and I'll get back in there.
You can see the story of this game. Of course, that was that first break at the very first point of the game, Benji.
Yeah, you're not quite seeing there, but then the instant break back from Nor'easter, and we've traded up until that upwind break just now. I'm not sure whether this vintage side will know that, but they are carrying the entirety of Canada's gold medal hopes on their shoulders in this game. Across the 9 divisions, they are the only Canadian finalist. There's 16 US teams in the finals and a lone team from here in the UK.
Of course, we'll have all the action here for you on Ultiworld as Tombemont sets off with a big pull. Nor'easter looking to respond. Meaden and Kingery connecting. Low, but goes to ground, does well. Kate Bergeron has been so good for this Nor'easter team. Tombemont really shutting out the reset, though. They find an option. Bergeron. Kingery. Vintage really trying to lock out those resets. That one's gonna pop a little bit in the wind, but it's no problem for Gardner. But the second one there just mis-executed on that reset attempt.
We've all had it happen where they're just sticks in your hand longer than you think it should do.
Tombemont is going to shoot, and it's going to sail too far. Just gets pushed away. Her favorite target of Robitaille was going.
This time it feels like she didn't quite get enough loft on it, and it means that the disc isn't going to carry as far as perhaps she wanted. But I still like taking the shot on, A, because we've seen what good chemistry they have, and B, you're forcing them to start pretty much right on their end zone line. So it's a win-win. Admittedly, one win is bigger than the other, but still a win-win.
And stuck in that corner they are, having to shoot, and just off the fingertips. Such a close effort there from Nor'easter, but Blais was in the space to just make that catch difficult.
Gardner got in position, but it rolled off her hands. And let's be honest, they're betraying her a little bit at this point.
Vintage out in a bit of a split stack formation as Tombemont will shoot once again, this time looking for Lefebvre, who will track it down on the sideline, keeps her feet in bounds for the goal, and there's another travel call, Benji, back on the throw.
I'd have to have another look to see if it was a travel. Take nothing away, though, from the catch from René Lefebvre, because that was exceptional going to ground right towards the sideline.
Because I knew that they're checking on me like the last time. I really hold my opinion. This is a nonsense. You can't be going that it's somehow.
She picks the back foot up as she throws. There's a question of whether it affects.
Maybe a slight shuffle before that, but
I didn't have the perspective, sorry to tell you that. So it looks like it's going to be trouble contested. What's going to be the count?
I think I had
Minus 3.
Probably.
Okay, coming in on 4.
Coming in on 4.
do you think this is a situation here, Benji, where if you start to see travel calls on the same thrower repeatedly, Tombemont is going to have to not get frustrated by it? Can be difficult. Will shoot again. This time gets the under from Robitaille.
It's a huge under, though.
Now Blais resetting to Tombemont and a pickup field.
as a thrower, you just need to take a breath, not let it affect you. Obviously, you're making that concerted effort to keep the pivot foot down, and trust it. If people are doing it, it's not malicious.
And that was a round backhand from Tomblamour. Robitaille thinks her foot was in bounds when she made that catch. A few players are signaling goal. There'll be a discussion about whether or not her foot was down before. Just trying to get a toe in there.
I didn't have a clear and obvious perspective to provide you guys. The only point I make, if you're saying that the foot was on the line, line is out of bounds, if that's the case.
So you don't know?
I don't have a clear and obvious perspective to provide you. Sounds like
it's close, isn't it? It's mighty close.
Contested.
If anything, it might just be that her foot was just on the line, so maybe too close to call. Feels like the right decision to go back.
I don't hate to contest here. I don't hate it.
So Tomblamour will once again get us back underway. Vintage looking to take the biggest lead of this game yet. Goes around, finds Robitaille in the end zone. The celebration, that is a huge break here for Vintage. They extend their lead now by 2.
You have to compliment the temperament there. You think you score once, goes back on a travel. You think you scored a second time, contested in out. And regardless of the legitimacy of those calls, it is frustrating. It does slightly eat and wear away at you. But take a breath, compose yourself. You've done it once, you've done it twice. Just go out there again. I like the way that Tremblay there isn't pivoting laterally necessarily. She goes slightly backwards there to create a better angle to throw around the mark.
That was the first time we've had 2 breaks in a row in this game as well.
Just thinking about the idea of kind of putting what's happened out of your mind. I'm going to say this is a sort of relevant example. 2017, the Cricket World Cup, Women's Cricket World Cup final. England had a winning catch dropped that would have completely won the game. And rather than kind of get angry about it, it's like, that's it, we've dropped the World Cup or whatever. Anya Shrubsole, who was the bowler, just said, I've got 5 of them out already. Why would I be worried if we dropped a catch? We'll just do it again. And you have to have that sort of attitude. Okay, the score went back, it went back again. It doesn't matter, we've done it twice. It's easy.
Yeah, Frisbee really is such a mental battle so much of the time, especially in a final when there's a lot on the line as well. It can be really easy to get sucked into that frustration, and these teams both so far, Benji, I think, keeping their heads in this game.
It's not just the 70 yards on the field, it's the 3-4 inches, I'm not very good at measurements, between the ears. Head size may vary.
So Nor'easter looking to get a hold back out on the field now. That's a big run through block, and it looks like there is going to be a call. I thought maybe Virginie Harris got a slight touch in front on that one, Benji.
Yeah, the question will be whether she had to come through the receiver to do so. She's almost, her body's behind, but she's trying to crane her arm round in front. Also, I don't think it's unsafe to say, it's quite a pro-Canadian crowd here, which, as a Vintage player, you have to love.
Were contacted. I'm sorry, I'm going to contest. It's okay.
Okay.
It's okay.
Okay.
Contest.
Yep. Foul contest. So this will go back.
I think you can see both
this
sides
will go back
to that one as well, Benji. Rose feeling like there was some contact, and of course Harris arguing that she may have just gotten to that space first, so the disc will stay in the hands here. Looking for a reset. Just taking advantage of that face guarding, and will shoot to the end zone. That's going to be pinpoint, a big bid attempt that just picked up slightly in the wind and was just put too far over the hands there. Blackshaw signals the injury after. That would have been massive.
I really like the idea of the shot. As you mentioned, it just picked up some speed, and Blackshaw makes the calculated gamble. I've got to go now, because otherwise I'm not going to be able to turn and catch up to it later. It was out of her reach. But Blackshaw, not for the first time, more than happy to throw herself around and doing so safely as well, not creating contact as well.
Sure.
So this, if Vintage are able to convert here, Benji, would be a break to take half. A big opportunity for this team from Canada. Finds Turcotte, but that just falls out of her hand. Gifting the disc back to Nor'easter on the end zone line, and it's going to be an easy dish in for the goal. Newman with the assist finds her teammate Cianfrani. And staying here, Benji within touching distance.
Yeah, they love to get the upwind break here to take us to a galaxy point, especially because Vintage started the game on defense, so they will be receiving going downwind to begin the second half, so that break feels like it counts extra when you get given these opportunities with players of this experience. You pick it up on the end zone line, you back them to finish it, and they showed why.
This game so far, Benji, has been quite long as well. Only about 35 minutes left in this game. Played a good chunk, and we haven't got to half yet.
No, we would have had a timed half, but with not just a lot, with obviously the game going on quite long, we've had quite long points, which means that we've not really had an opportunity for the half-time cap to come into play.
So Vintage coming out on offense, looking to hold, to take us to halftime. Nor'easter will have something to say about that, though. The likes of Kingery back out on the field. It's been so good for this team throughout the tournament, so strong today. A couple blocks to her name already. There's a big pull as Tombemont gets us underway here. Connects with Blay. Now Verbit. Tombemont again. Loves to communicate with her upfield players, with her fakes, and that's going to just sit into the hands of Robitaille, but then it's just popped over. Just mis-executed on the pass there. It's going to give an opportunity to Nor'easter to break. And a big block, though, coming running through all the way. Caroline Leduc gets it back for Vintage, and Tombemont is going to shoot, but it's just too far in front of Blay. But maybe a bit of a play to get some field position here again, Benji.
You have to have that sort of game sense at times that it's okay to turn it over if we still achieve something with it, and often gaining a lot of field position is that something you're looking for.
And that's exactly what happens again here. Picked off. Nor'easter stuck in that corner. Verbit finds Tomblay. Gonna shoot to the end zone, and it's none other than Robitaille with the goal. And we have said that so many times today, Benji. It's Tombemont to Robitaille, and Vintage take half 8-6.
Yeah, they are the danger players to watch, and you see why. 4 first half assists for Tombemont, 4 goals for Anne Robitaille. It's clear what the game plan is, but stopping it is so hard. Using the long reach, both of them. First from Tremblay to try and manufacture those angles with the disc, and then downfield. Robitaille has been inevitable.
She has indeed, and Vintage keeping their 2-point buffer, taking half 8-6.
This summer, Ultimate takes over the world. From the rising stars of World Junior Ultimate Championships to the seasoned battles of the World Masters Ultimate Club Championships to the biggest stage in Club Ultimate, the World Ultimate Club Championships. Watch it all unfold live, exclusively on Ultiworld.
Boston has its glory.
Jeff Babbitt with the size, the speed, the read. Did he throw it the full 80 yards to the field?
You cannot kill this Minnesota team. Are you believing what you're seeing? My hands are on my head up here in the booth.
Was there any doubt? Was there any doubt? Holy smoke!
Get the ultimate news you need to know with the Deep Look podcast. I'm Charlie Eisenhood.
And I'm Keith Rayner, and together we bring the games, names, and moments in Ultimate to your podcast feed. We talk Ultimate's biggest news from on and off the field about and with the people making it.
And every week we go live on YouTube. Come join the fun, the trivia, the picks, the analysis, and more Tuesdays at noon Eastern Time.
We'll see you there.
Welcome back to Nottingham here at the World Masters Ultimate Championships. We are packed with action in the Great Grand Masters Women's Division final between Vintage from Canada and Nor'easter from the United States. It has been an action-packed game so far, with Vintage having a narrow lead, 8-6, getting a couple key breaks right at the end of that first half. As you get a chance to look at these highlights, Becky Thompson alongside Benji Reese. And Benji, talk us through the story of this game so far.
We had a break on the very first point from Vintage. Nor'easter earned it back at the first half opportunity. A lot of trading before the Canadians were able to kick on towards the end. Have a look at the game stats there. So many more break opportunities generated for Vintage. And sure, they're not hitting on as many as they'd like, but you can afford to have that percentage a little bit lower when you're generating opportunity after opportunity.
Yeah, and you can see the flow of this game. We had those early breaks, but then for the most part of that half, trading offensive holds back and forth until those crucial breaks right there for Vintage to go up 6-5 and then 7-5, leading into that 2-point advantage.
We talked about those marathon points with 4 turns aside, and often you feel like you can get a little bit of a mental battle when you come out on top. But actually, for Vintage, it wasn't so bad, because it's their D-line that's forcing the O-line for Nor'easter to just stay out there point after point, and it feels like that has really told in their legs. How about the performance of Anne Robitaille?
And Robitaille has just been sensational for this Vintage team here. Doing it all over the end zone, seems to always be free in space, but coming down with things under pressure as well. Been playing for 15 years from Montreal. She said we could look out for her cuts, and she is not wrong.
Yep, I think that's about accurate. Woba Tide, the team that sleeps on Hobby Tai.
So we will have a second half action getting underway here shortly. Benji and Vintage in the driver's seat, and they did play Nor'easter earlier in this tournament in that group stage round robin, taking that one also by 2 points, 13-11. And you can imagine that Nor'easter will have adjusted from the halftime and be looking to put a stop to Vintage's momentum.
Yeah, I think one of the things that has exemplified Vintage's play this week has just been the joy that we've seen, and we've seen that not just with them but across the division actually, how much teams are enjoying having the opportunity to spend time together with old friends, you know, kind of reignite old rivalries, hang out with people that you've not seen in the best part of a decade, even longer. It's such a lovely event here. The organisational team have done superbly, and the players have absolutely put on a show for us.
This is just, of course, the first of our many finals we will have today and tomorrow, Benji. Lots of excitement coming your way. Have the Grand Masters Open final, 5 p.m. UK time. And then, of course, the Grand Masters Mixed Final later this evening before a round of Masters finals tomorrow.
And if you've got an all-access Ultiworld subscription, you can watch the finals going on right now in the Mixed Grandmaster and Grandmaster Open division. Although, having said that, the Great Grandmaster Mixed Final has already wrapped up. An endless sunset of the champions there over Babymaker, and the Great Grandmaster Open Final is just about done as well.
So back underway, second half action here, the Great Grandmasters Women's Division Final. Vintage getting a chance to start on offense in the second half, going downwind as well. But a zone coming out here from Nor'easter that catches the wind, bobbles, but well tracked down, and is immediately going to shoot. Has an open receiver, but it's just out of the hands. Turcotte with an excellent shot down, but Besjet just couldn't hang on to it.
Absolutely the right shot to take. Turcotte tracked that loopier option well, saw someone downfield, you've got the one-on-one, you step into it, you take it, and the disc maybe just begins to edge away slightly at the end, and perhaps caught Besjet slightly unaware.
Tomblemont will pick that one off, was reading it all the way. Has an option up line and will connect for the goal. Finds Verbit. The celebrations, that is a huge point to hold here out of half. Biggest lead of the game so far. Vintage up by 3 now.
If I could sum up Tomblemont's defensive performance in a phrase, it would be work smarter, not harder. She's really cheating on these unders. She's looking around, reading the thrower, and rather than constantly trying to track someone, what a lot of people say, an honest match defense, she's always looking for those opportunities to flash, to poach, to get in the way, and that time it's thrown right into her lap, and they duly convert. Only just a casual 5 assists so far for Julie Tomblemont.
You can see her giving instructions to this next D-line that's headed out for Vintage. They will want to extend their lead. You can see the fans enjoying this one. The Canada flag's out. I think quite a few Canadian fans here today, Benji, supporting this Vintage team.
Yeah, there's been a lot of various Canadian flags, maple leafs displayed in lots of prominent places, partly because of the last Canadian contingent we've had this week, and also because it was Canada Day a couple of days ago, and I've seen a fair few badges being dropped off to the volunteers to decorate their stylish attire.
So Nor'easter now, Benji, looking for a response to stop the momentum here from Vintage. Newman will shoot, looking to Kingery in the end zone. That's, again, just going to catch the wind right at the end. It looked good for so long, but it just catches the wind, and it's too far for Kingery.
Spot on. It seemed good when it left the hand, but the wind just drifts it and drifts it and drifts it until it's out of reach.
So Vintage looking to extend their lead. Get us back underway. Quick lateral movement here. Now connecting upfield, but Newman will get a hand to that one first. Kingery will pick up quickly. And unfortunately, that's in and out of the hands of Newman, but there is a foul accepted on the throw. So Kate Kingery will get the disc back here.
A little bit of a let off that.
Newman. Fakes Kingery in the reset space, will pop it over, and again, just a little too casual maybe on that high release, the disc being pushed down into the ground.
Maybe overcompensating for the win, perhaps.
For a bit. Vintage opening up the play now. That just drops again a little bit low and blades into the ground. Renault couldn't collect as Kingery now a lifeline here for Nor'easter, still looking for a hold. Got Newman in the middle. Newman has Kingery as a reset, doesn't look. Now finds her. Bergeron back into the hands of Kingery. Again, just a little bit too far over the head. Had the open cut coming there from Anne Lightbody. But again, another execution error here, Benji.
Light body, but maybe heavy legs at the moment. Last game of a long weekend. Both sides have already played 8 games this tournament. This is the 9th, then that has to be adding up.
For a bit, and Turcotte combining. Big grab on the under from Harris. And Kingery seems to have just come through and collected that disc. Look, almost surprised that she did. You can see the players discussing who actually got there first. It will be contested and sent back.
Stop, please. Thank you.
It was early in the stall count, so the disc will come back in on 1 as Harris checks it back in, finds Turcotte for a bit now in the middle, and a pick upfield. For a bit. Again, low on options, but does find her reset. Piercy. Now Blay. A little bit of contact there on the fourth, just as Blay stepped out to pivot. Just collided a little bit with Bergeron. Blay shoots, and it's just too far for Jolin. Nor'easter doing such a good job there, Benji, of just sitting really hard on the undercuts. Kingery finds Newman. And it looks like there's going to be a discussion about whether or not that was up. Did look quite low, couldn't quite see from this angle, Benji.
It was a close run thing for sure. Not sure whether she has control by the time it touches grass.
So the outcome, yeah, exactly.
So hard to see even on that slow-mo. So I think the contest once again too close to call here. Disc will come back in the hands of Kingery. And just can't connect upfield. Again, light body open in that space, but they're just having some miscues on their throwing options right now. This time, Blay will come in for the huge pickup, and Kingery is signaling it down, but Benji, it looked to me like Blay got to that disc.
My gut instinct here is up. Hell of a play from Blay to even have a shot at it, though.
Get another look here. Disc just passes the hand, and then Blay comes in. That is close, Benji, but
yeah,
I do
so
think...
my perspective is this trailing edge is up. Yep.
Do you think I agree with the game advisor? Blay just got a hand and control under it first, but it was close. You can see where the call and the question came from.
Again, obviously you always trust the calls are being made in good faith, and I'm sure they are, and it was close enough to me that I totally understand why you would ask the question. But yeah, got the game advisor's perspective, took it and moved on, but it just goes right through the hands of Piercy and it's given back.
Yeah, gift back again. Nor'easter still hunting for a hold here. Back into the middle for Newman. And there's another pick called upfield. Some discussion about where the player should return to. So Newman. Hibbard connects upfield to Bergeron. Kingery working hard to get free, but Newman is the reset. Now it's Kingery, but it's just gonna pop off of her hands. Just didn't quite focus all the way through on that catch there.
And you can tell there are some weary minds and bodies out there at the moment.
Welcome to the opening ceremony.
And a timeout called. I think, again, one of those points where the turn count's ticking up. This has had the most turns of any point in this game, 9 in total. And I understand wanting to take the breather.
Yeah, absolutely. Just needing a little bit of an adjustment here. Maybe just to reset slightly. See if we can get another look, Benji, at those close catches. Oof, just hitting the ground maybe, I think, before it got into her hands. And then Julie Blay, incredible job to get her hand under that. These two teams are battling it out. So Vintage coming out on offense out of this timeout. Looking for another break opportunity, but again, just a bit too low. Nor'easter looks to move it quickly, goes for the scooper into the end zone for the goal. Gardner reels it in, and Nor'easter get their hold.
The timeout worked a treat, just not for the team that took it.
Yeah,
because of the turnout, doesn't matter what the division is.
I say Nor'easter coming out with intensity on that defense there, Benji. Clearly something that they talked about in that timeout.
For sure, getting the opportunity to take the mental reset. Just a little casual with the dish towards that far side, and Bergeron with a little bit of invention here. Scooping it over the head of the mark and dropping it into the bucket for the score with Gardner.
Get a great slow-mo shot of this incredible, perfect scooper from Kate Bergeron.
You can see on her tiptoes there, getting the most reach possible. And
Benji, Nor'easter really needed that hold here. keeping themselves only 2 points down, stopping the bleeding a bit, the momentum from Vintage, cutting that lead to 2, and the clock, of course, ticking down. Only just about 11 minutes, just under 11 minutes left in this game. Of course, we will have a +1 cap, but important for Nor'easter if they're going to want to compete for that gold medal to get a break back soon.
Yeah, the time, the weather, the opponent, even the crowd, I think, is working against Nor'easter at the moment. You've got to really have mental fortitude to pull a comeback here.
The general of this offense, Tremblement, will pick up again. Goes around, finds Hobitai. Back to Tremblement. Again with that big around backhand, and it's going to be none other than Hobitai in the end zone. It's yet another connection between Tremblement and Hobitai. And we're up here again, 10-7 Vintage lead.
If she's single covered, she's open. I think you've got to try and find a way to roll more help in that direction. Whether it's not necessarily truly doubling her, but, you know, downfield being really vocal. I think you need a lot of help from the sideline there as well to recognize those opportunities. Okay, now is the time for me to maybe flash in and get something, or at the very least just dissuade the shot from going up in the first place, because they're just going to keep hitting it otherwise. 6 assists and a block in this game for Julie Tremblement as well.
Hobitai just unguardable in that end zone today, Benji.
Been exceptional. And it feels like all these long marathon points we've had, they've all come when Nor'easter are on offense. And what it's meant is that their just O-line's been out there for so much longer than Vintage have. And you love that if you're Vintage, because you're putting the wear and tear, having the lactic acid build up in the legs. And it means as well, you're resting your O-line. They're staying nice and fresh. So when they come out there, they're just feeling a little bit fitter and they can come out, get the job done. And then all of a sudden, Nor'easter, you're back out on offense. And you don't really get a breathing time. It's ball control style ultimate.
Now onto this near sideline for Trish York. Will connect again with Newman. A zone look here from Vintage. A bit low, but York keeps her hands on it, threads it through the gap in the middle. Rose finds light body. He will shoot around, and it's just going to be too low. Had Gardner open, could see what she was looking for, but didn't put enough edge on that disc.
You're always worried about putting edge on it when there is wind, but that time you saw why you need to, because as it is with the flat trajectory, it's never going to curl back and give the receiver a chance.
So trapped in that difficult corner right now, Vintage trying to work it out, and it is challenging in that spot on the field with the wind. It doesn't take much wind to make that corner a really difficult place to start with the disc, Benji. Back into the middle. Spurs are on. She'll go for the end zone again, looking again for Gardner, but overshot. Give Vintage another opportunity.
Again, just the ability for this Vintage to D-line to extend the points, exacerbate that fatigue from Nor'easter.
For a bit. Looking into the middle. Combining. There's another pick called. I think just after Desplay threw that. Just colliding with some of the poach defense there in the underlanes.
Yeah, I don't think either Tides really played with the fluency with which they would have liked.
Piercy now. Looking the around to Ribbit. We'll put it into space just a little bit too far, trying to make that a really thrower-led reset option. Nor'easter throughout this game, Benji, have done such a good job of just sitting tight on those unders. We haven't seen, especially going this direction, Vintage really pumping it for field position. So a short field turnover as Newman will pick it up. Looking to pop it over the top to Gardner. That will do it. A hold here for Nor'easter. Still trailing Vintage by 2.
Third time's the charm there for Nor'easter. Almost setting up as if he's got a timeout there. Picking up the disc on the end zone line, going for the slow start rather than trying to rush it in because they're not seeing anyone free downfield. And again, we're seeing Vintage aggressively sitting in that open under space, forcing them to go for a maybe riskier, a lower percentage option. But they do have players really attack that front cone, drag the coverage their way. It opens up the soft spot in behind, and they're able to loft it over the mark. Lovely throw from Neumann into the hands of Gardner again, her second goal of the game.
So Vintage still in control here. Very late in the second half, just 4 minutes left to play until we will get that +1 cap. So I think safe to say at this point, Benji, that we're not going to get a game to 15.
No, at this point, I think we're probably looking at a game to 12, maybe 13.
Tremblement directing traffic again. Leduc shoot upfield. Good big under there. Lefebvre finds Kobatai. Tremblement, kind of a signature little reset cut there for her, and she will shoot to the end zone, and this one is too low. Boisvert was in the space, but just dropped.
Needed some more loft on it.
And this time, Nor'easter work it out of that dangerous corner. Looking to Kingery in the middle. Now around.
If they can convert this break, we've really got a game on our hands.
Cianfrani finds Kingery. Kingery thought about the deep shot. Instead, back into the middle. Cianfrani again. Now Meathen. Struggling to find some upfield movement. Eventually does connect. Into the middle. Now Ospina finds Cianfrani, who also looked like she was thinking about an end zone shot to Kingery. Instead, we'll come around to this near sideline. Insko goes on the inside shot to Kingery, who will thread it in to Cianfrani for the goal. That is a massive break here at a crucial time in this game, but it does look like there is a call on the field. This time, Tremblement on the force.
Insko, the thrower.
First fast count dropped, second fast count called again. I contest that.
No, absolutely not.
Or sorry, I call second fast count, sorry.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you have the option to call a violation on the second fast count, which would set it to 0.
Yeah, so.
But if you did keep calling fast count, it would be just a reduction by 1.
And that's what I did.
Each time.
Yeah, she did.
I did. On the second fast count. She called stall. I called fast count. Which I think by nature is a violation. So.
No, it's not. No. Yep.
Yeah. Yes. Okay.
Agreed.
Cool. I was too far away to hear a stall count, so it'll have to be up between you two. So. Okay. Cool.
So a contested stall out call here. Tremblement thinking she got to 10 before that disc was released. So the disc will come back into the hands of Megan Insko. Stall count will, of course, be on 8. Insko will immediately shoot, and it's collected on the end zone line, looking for the goal. Cianfrani thought she'd got it the first time, and the second time around, she reels it in. That is a massive break here for Nor'easter, cutting the lead to 1, and what a crucial time to do it, Benji.
Yeah, game is very much on at this point, because they're now going to be going downwind. And that gives you an opportunity to tie it at 10s and maybe make it a universe point, because there is not much left on that game clock. Good focus there. You see that both sides have been doing actually really aggressively sitting in under spaces. One of the ways to beat those poachers is to get quick disc movement. Up your tempo a little bit. Keep it moving so those poached defenders are constantly having to change positions, try and work out. If you move it quickly and they don't react, all of a sudden they're poaching spaces that aren't useful to them, and it means that there's players free in much more hittable positions. The downwinder here will bring us to Universe.
This game getting exciting here at the end, Benji, and this is exactly what you want from finals. So you can see the Grandmasters Open teams warming up for their final, which will, of course, be coming to you at 5 p.m. UK time. Be Shadows against Surly, both from the United States. Right now, Nor'easter trying to see if they can upset the Canadians. Because Vintage have that lead, but just that 1 point advantage. The time cap has gone, so we will add 1 to the high score after this point, Benji. So we'll find out if we'll have a game to 11 or a game to 12. Nor'easter have come down here with a lot of pressure on the defense. This zone has been effective for them in this second half in particular. Little tiny pop pass reset for Tombemont. Going 1-2. And another travel call on Tombemont.
Yeah, it's when she was going for the throw and go, I don't think she got it off in time.
Just some discussion about where players should reset to win Tombemont, or when the travel occurred. Disc back in play. Verbit. Another travel called here, Benji.
Can't let it affect you.
Goes for the exact same throw. Now back around. And those little tiny gaps, Blay will find Verbit. Verbit connects with Robitaille.
There's a player down away from the disc. So that's not looking a good way.
Never what you want to see here, Benji.
Yeah, the clock would stop on injury stoppages like this. Of course, we're already in the time cap, so that doesn't matter.
And these teams getting down to the wire here. Benji, Vintage with a narrow lead over Nor'easter, 10-9.
Boston has its glory. Jeff Babbitt with the size, the speed, the read. Did he throw it the full 80 yards of the field?
You cannot kill this Minnesota team.
Are you believing what you're seeing?
My hands are on my head up here in the booth.
Was there any doubt? Was there any doubt? Holy smoke!
So you can see there, Johanna Newman just went down away from the disc. Looks like an ankle injury. You can see her cheering on her teammates as she's about to leave the field as well, clapping to the crowd. Hope Newman will be okay, but safe to say that I think this game for her probably has finished now.
Yeah, it's not what either side would have wanted to see. But the fact that she's smiling and engaged is obviously a great sign, despite the ankle injury. Well, suspected ankle injury, I should say, from the way they're looking after her.
So the disc was in the hands of Vintage when the injury occurred. Nor'easter looking to stifle their offense here and bring us to a universe point. Verbit will shoot all the way to the far side, and that's going to sit in the air. Meaden in the space, but a foul called.
A little bit of argle-bargle underneath the disc, maybe. Looks like it's accepted.
Now into the middle for Carlton. Carlton will go around looking for Verbit, who gets it on the second effort, and then will unleash a big around to find Blay. The Duke back to Blay, looking for Tomblemont. She will shoot. That's going to hang in the air, and this time it's none other than Robitaille coming out of nowhere to collect that and keep their lead at 2.
I said when she was single coverage, she's open. Maybe she's open in double coverage as well, I guess. That is a full-on trust ball, but the trust is clearly extremely well placed.
When you have a receiver like Robitaille able to come down with those, why not put it up? You can see that that was the cut that Tomblemont was shooting for, but that disc not executed, I think, the way she would have wanted. But Robitaille makes no mistake in coming back to attack the disc.
That elite wingspan coming in clutch again. But that was a possession that almost shouldn't have been a possession, because Anne Lightbody got so much of that disc, but because it wasn't caught, it just left the door ajar, and I'm not sure Verbit could believe her luck. Good on her for having the focus to catch the second effort.
So we will have a game to 12. This great Grandmasters Women's Division final here. Vintage have the chance to break for a gold medal. Nor'easter will look to try to hold and then break to take us to Universe Point here. They've been coming back into this game, but a little bit late in the second half. Tomblemont, no surprise, back on the field. Lightbody, center that to Cianfrani. Finds Insco. Looking for an option, struggling, stall count climbing. Manages to find a reset. Good patience here from Nor'easter, a pick upfield.
A couple of times they had some cutters with steps deep, but with the wind against them, you feel like if they want to, they really want to just grind it underneath all the way in.
Meaden as the reset. Still some congestion upfield, so another pick is called. Meaden threading it through, puts so much touch on that disc to Cianfrani. Great vision there to throw her open. Now Insko had Kingery streaking to the end zone. Instead hits her under. Good feet. Kingery needs an outlet. Has Meaden. Kingery will find light body. Insko. And a foul called. So light body will bring us back into play here. No force on her yet. Cianfrani on the doorstep, fakes it. And then does connect to Insko, who looked like she kept her feet in bounds. It's not going to be called in. That looked to me like her toes might have been in the end zone, but another call, a little bit of frustration showing there, Benji.
My gut instinct was that she had been able to toe the line as well.
You said stall count. I went back not even one. I went back 3 stall. Okay, I said
you were on 7 before I even looked.
I said 7?
Yeah.
Then I went back even to 5. Not even to 6, no, to 6. She should be getting back stalling 6. Okay. I even back further.
Yeah.
To 5. After that, the stall was as smooth, as normal as it's been. And you kept staring instead of looking maybe at the dump or some other option. But
okay, let's keep the focus.
Honestly, there was no absolutely no fast count. This, okay? Yeah. No, it doesn't sound like it's counted. It sounds like it's abusive. That's what it sounds like.
It's contested.
No, I'm going to go to it. It has to stop, for real. That's not
okay, so I did hear a count. I did not hear whether you dropped or not. I did not hear a change in the speed of the count, but to me it was fast. So, but we have reached our time, so it does sound like I don't think we're going to come to an agreement here, is what it sounds like.
Yeah. So I think you have to, it's contested, so you're going to come in stalling 8, just like before, because and this is the perspective, the outside.
Well, fast count would be 6. No higher than 6. Okay. Right? Contested marking by.
It's a contested stall down, so stalling 8.
No. The call here was fast count, right? So yeah, it would be no higher than 6. Okay.
So the advisor there, Benji, saying that they did think that the count was a bit fast. Didn't change the tempo of the count, but that it was fast throughout. In the end is contested, so coming back on stall 6, and Insko needing a reset, but can't find it. Tremblay Mall will shoot, looking all the way to the end zone. That's going to hang and sail, but too far away from Valence, who was streaking down that way. Definitely, I think, Benji, a big punt there to get this field position, knowing that Nor'easter have struggled in that corner as well.
It's worth a go, certainly, because he could be on for a spectacular finish if it works, but if not, you're right, you get the field position back in your favour. You really flipped it.
Light body has Kingery. It's going to pop over the top, bodies underneath. It's collected by Cianfrani, and there's 2 foul calls here. Benji, there's a lot of bodies under that disc.
I always feel in these situations it's tough to work out how the contact is caused. It's not always. Sometimes it's clear. That scenario just seems to me to be 4 players converging on the same space.
And I wasn't calling anything, but she stepped on my feet, so I definitely wasn't touching her head.
Your player was in the mix there too. I didn't touch
wasn't
anything
behind you, so I'm not sure.
Okay.
You went sandwich between those.
I went straight up. I didn't touch anybody on that.
So who's touched my head? It's not me, so I don't.
Yeah, so I didn't have a perspective on whether your head got touched. I apologize. It did seem like there was a lot of contact in general between everybody. I don't know if it affected the play. That's up to you to determine. But it sounds like this is going to be a foul contest, is what it sounds like here. Yeah? Okay. Okay, foul contest. So it's going to be going back to the thrower.
The disc will be coming back here. It did look, I think, Benji, like you said, there was just a lot of bodies under that disc, and sometimes it is just hard to avoid contact, but to me, I think more of a case of incidental contact, an offsetting foul perhaps, all of those players contacting each other.
6 of one, half a dozen of the other.
Nonetheless, Kingery still with the disc in her hands. Just some discussion about where she was before. Tomblemont seems to think it was closer to the sideline. Kingery disagreeing.
Happy here? All right.
Violation called. Tomblemont just needing to check in the disc, so we are back in now. Kingery. Finds Meaden. Meaden will have to shoot, and it's going to be picked off in the space. Back to Blais.
Chance to win the game.
Tomblemont has Robitaille going in the end zone and will shoot to her. It's going to pick over the top, and Insco read that one all the way to put it down. Nor'easter getting themselves a crucial block.
That time she gets neither the angle nor the elevation that she was looking for.
Cianfrani. Meaden. Trying to signal to her team to keep going. Was running out of options, has to shoot over the top. And the pressure there, Benji, just mounting from Vintage as that stall count was rising.
The offense just felt so compressed because they're not trusting their ability to stretch the field.
So this will be a short field turnover here for Vintage, looking to win the Great Grand Masters Women's Division here at the World Masters Ultimate Championships. Tomblemont went to shoot and it just fell out of her hand. So not to be on this occasion, Benji. Nor'easter, a gift getting that disc back. Low but collected well by Meaden. The inside shot. Now Kingery. Insco. Pops it over the top. Does find her teammate Callan. Meaden again. Rose. Cianfrani. Nor'easter. Closer and closer, needing this hold. Light body finds Meaden. Kingery trying to get free, and there was a pick there. Insco just slightly in the way. The Duke trying to mark Kingery there. Needham gets a little inside shot to Cian Franny, and it is a hold for Nor'easter. They keep themselves in this game. The chance to go get a break the other way to take us a universe point, Benji. It is all on.
The throw may have been a little bit ugly, but it was very effective, and that is the most important thing, because they all count exactly the same. Vintage will have the chance to end it on offense, going upwind as Tremblay just spooked the disc out of her hand almost. And then they were always going to have to grind it up if they were going to make it work. It's a slightly awkward angle. You can see the disc flittering slightly, but it's drawn to the receiver like a moth to a flame.
And Cian Franny has had such a good game here as well. 3 goals to her name. And a timeout being taken here, Benji, just before this crucial point for Nor'easter. They know they need to get their best 7 players out on the field right now if they're going to break to come back into a universe point. You get a look at the flow of this game. It's been mostly trading in this second half so far, Benji. That one crucial break back to make it 9-10 there. Seen a few points with lots of turns as well. That 10-point turn at 9-7. But at this point, it's not about the number of turns. These teams won't care. They'll care about fighting it out for every disc to the last second here.
I mean, this is the thing. It doesn't matter what's gone before this game, this week, in the years beforehand. You can only focus on what's right in front of you at this moment.
So Nor'easter certainly looking to stack this line here, Benji. Of course, Vintage out on offense. They just need a hold here. Interesting to see the likes of Tremblement not back out on the pitch for Vintage right now, Benji. I think potentially taking that chance of knowing they're going to need her if there's a universe point situation.
But the likelihood of getting to that universe point situation obviously higher if she's not on the field, especially going against the wind.
Kingery will pull for a bit, finds Carlton. Match defense look here from Nor'eastern.
Wind has definitely picked up. You can feel it whipping the jerseys.
Blay and Carlton combining. That's going to sit in the air, and it's going to get scooped up by Gardner. Comes in, just telegraphed that all the way for the block. Bergeron, now Kingery. Light body. Has Kingery as a reset. Doesn't look, goes under, and it's just in and out of the hands. The pressure defense there as well from Turcotte. Vintage, another chance to win this game.
Yeah, deep into the cap now. It's a long old game. How can you find a way to keep that composure?
Verbit, that again is popped up into the wind. It's going to fade towards the sideline. Blay having to keep an eye on where her feet were. Can't keep control of the disc. Kingery walks it in immediately and shoots into the end zone, but I think her teammates, Benji, weren't ready for that quick turn.
No, the only player who was Captain Rosemary Carlton for Vintage.
Carlton will get it back in play, and a pick called in the stack.
Throw goes, but it was well after the pick was called. Stands filling and filling now. It does add up that extra tick of pressure.
Carlton has to sit that out into space, and it works. And then that one instead is just not going to be threaded through the gap. Monsieur couldn't connect Bergeron to the end zone, and that one is going to work. Neva Durand with the goal, and a massive break here for Nor'easter. Benji, we have a universe point here in the final.
Could it have ended any other way? Our first final here on the showcase field at the end of a long, hard, but wonderful week in Nottingham. 2 Ds on that point for Gardner. The first one was very intentional. The second, not sure she knew much about. It didn't matter because she put herself in that position. By playing that tight reset defense, they just tried to smuggle through the contraband. But it was shut by that outstretched arm. And then going the other way for the score. And you can see exactly what it means. We said this might go all the way. Don't you love it when a plan comes together?
Absolutely. This game has had it all, Benji. These teams have been battling it out all week, and of course it had to come down to this. The two best teams in this tournament going toe-to-toe, all tied at 11s. 1 point to try to secure themselves a gold medal here in Nottingham. Nor'easter will start on defense. Vintage out on O. French-Canadian support in the crowd cheering for Vintage. Nor'easter needing a break here. Kingery, no surprise to see her back on the field as she will unleash the pull to get us underway. Universe point here in the Great Grand Masters Women's Division Final.
How's your nerves?
A little shaky to start here. That's going to be whipped under to Turcotte. Through to Verbit. And that's low off the hands, just maybe the grip on that disc not quite right. Blay, no opportunity. Nor'easter have a chance here to break for the win.
Unable to really step out into the pivot, and it means the throw is quite compressed and comes out at an awkward angle.
Durand needs a reset, was looking for Cien Frani, but turned away from her, lost eye contact. Tremblement will shoot, looking for Robitaille. It's going to sail, and it's going to sail too far, but collected on the second effort. An incredible grab. That will be the win here. Lefebvre came out of nowhere to make that catch. Vintage are your champions in the Great Grandmasters Women's Division. Canada gets the gold.
It's the first time, I think, all game where they haven't connected on that shot. And it didn't matter anyway. René Lefebvre becomes the hero, providing the most capable backup. Lays out, gets underneath it, secures the game, the grab, and the gold.
Vintage, your WIFDIF World Masters Ultimate Championships Great Grand Masters Women's champions here, Benji. What an incredible game.
Yeah, ran the table in the pool play stage. A dominant semi-final performance, and they were pushed harder than ever before in this final. But in the end, the quality and the class was just too much. Robitaille gets caught underneath it, and she's not even in the frame. But René Lefebvre, that grab will be remembered for a long, long time.
Those are the kind of catches that go down in history. An incredible game here today. We get a chance to look at the stats from this game. Both teams with 35 turnovers apiece, but fighting it out. Nor'easter never put their heads down, even when Vintage was up by 2 points, able to break to come back in to take us to Universe. But the incredible performances from Tremblement and Anne Robitaille here from Vintage. 8 assists for Tremblement, 6 goals for Robitaille. Incredible performances.
Yeah, Lefebvre caught 2 goals, including the game-winning grab, got a block and didn't turn it over at all. And when games are so murky and gritty, to be able to keep your composure and just keep things ticking along is such an underrated skill. Vintage generated themselves so many more break opportunities. In the end, the breaks finished even. The important thing for Vintage was what they hung on.
All the way to the end and all the way to a gold medal. The Canada flag's out. We'll get a chance to look at some of the highlights from this final. The great Grand Masters women's division had it all here today in Nottingham. Nor'easter going up big with some incredible plays. Lefebvre, a star of this one today, Benji. It's been an incredible game. This is just the first of many finals coming your way. This one goes the way of Vintage.